All right, Wake Forest and Miami. We've got Miami 24-point home favorite, 64.5 the total. Now, Wake Forest actually been pretty solid as an underdog. We saw them cover against North Carolina last week. We saw them, obviously, at NC State. They won outright as a dog. They don't have much of a defense. Bachmeier and the offense can move the football. It feels like a lot of points. We've talked about how Miami as a favorite lately has not been great. They were lucky as shit to cover against Duke. Duke had a meltdown, an implosion in the second half of that game. They didn't cover against Florida State. They lose outright against Georgia Tech last game. They barely cover at Louisville. They don't cover against Cal. They don't cover against Virginia Tech. They've been overvalued for a long time, Miami. But this also feels like a spot where, coming off the loss against Georgia Tech and the bye week, is this the spot for them to beat the living hell out of somebody? Maybe it is. And the one thing that petrifies me about betting Wake here is that defense is still pretty bad for them. And now you got to go up against probably one of the best offenses you've played all season, off a bye, off a loss. You got to deal with Cam Ward. You got to deal with Damian Martinez running the ball. You got to deal with that great trio of receivers, Xavier Restrepo, Isaiah Horton, Jacoby George, off a bye week too, and a loss to Georgia Tech. Maybe it's a wake-up call for Miami, losing that game. So, a lot of points. Too many to lay for me with Miami, but it also feels like maybe Miami just beats the hell out of them because they could score on every possession if Wake's defense looks like it has for a majority of the season here in this game. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, they are not good. Got the touchdown late, though, did Wake, and covered. And Bachmeier, like we talked about, just just hanging. And they went to Kern because he wasn't doing a good job. He threw 2 picks, though. When I was watching that was a whole merry-go-round of that game last week. Babano over here. I think Miami does kind of kick their ass. I mean, I would take their team total. I just would not want to lay points with this team. Could they cover this? For sure. But if Wake could find some success moving the ball, I think they, could hang around. And this isn't 18 or some shit like that. This is 23.5, 24. So if you like Miami, I would just take them their team total here in this game and over. This gets over. Like, I think they score 45, 50 of their own.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, over would be probably the preferred option in this game, no doubt. All right.